Stand about anti-Semitism! Stand about anti-Semitism! Stand about anti-Semitism! We have worked hard to make sure that everyone who is here is welcomed. They're part of our society, they're contributing to society. And we must not let any of these people divide us. We've seen the horrific things that have happened in the First World War, the Second World War, and the things that have happened in the past in the Holocaust. And so we're not going to allow these people, these individuals, right? They are individuals. They are the minority. To see so many people here today, right, united in making sure that we send a message of peace, hope, and unity. I want to say thank you to everyone. Well done.
We are gathered together this evening, united in condemnation of an ugly act that sought to sow seeds of division and in return has engendered a unity. And has backfired spectacularly in that regard. And the message and signal that we wish to send to the perpetrators of this ugly act is that we will stand in defiance of things that attempt to divide us as a society and as a community. We are united in our stand and our stance towards racism. We are united in our stand and our stance towards bigotry. And we will gather together time and again to defend the principles and the values that we hold true as citizens of this borough and of this great country. It also should be said that this is hopefully an isolated incident. Absolutely. Because as a borough and as local communities we enjoy wonderful and beautiful relationships with each other. And there is nothing that we will allow to come between us. No. Particularly when it is ugly, vitriolic, and so potentially divisive. And so this evening, I hope that you will join us in sending an unmistakable signal of strength and of unity to everybody out there who is opportunistic in these vile acts. Thank you for joining us. Together we stand.
This is really heartening. And all respect to Lucy and everyone who's pulled this off in less than 3 days. And it shows, somebody once said, who was Jewish himself, that small deeds are, quotes, fantastically important. Well, it's not such a small deed, really. And I think, given that when I'll use these words, when the scum that did this were doing it, probably in the middle of the night, as these people do, as we know, in Hungary, a man who's openly racist, a man who's anti-Semitic, has made all sorts of anti-Semitic tropes and allusions that the far right are doing about George Soros, was elected. It's a complete tragedy and criminal, really, that a man called Viktor Orban has been elected, and a man who probably in his heart thinks what happened here was a good thing. That's what we're facing in Hungary, in Poland. There's a man who's an advisor, was an advisor till recently, to the Deputy Prime Minister, said very recently, quote, Jews are animals, they are not human. This is a man who was an advisor to the Deputy Prime Minister in Poland. We know in this country, as the comrade just said, that in Brent, recently and in the past, I remember coming up here on a few demonstrations in Cricklewood when we stopped people from a far-right sect trying to cause division here. And getting here earlier, you realise just what a multicultural area this is. And this fantastic vigil, which obviously is growing by the second, proves that. These people in Britain are small, but they're vicious and dangerous, who want to incite not just racial but religious hatred, Islamophobia, anti-Semitism, and all the poison that we know has been beaten before. But we know if it's not confronted and stood up to like tonight, it can prosper in the most disgusting way. I'm very proud that every year UAF organises a trip to Auschwitz to say never again. And this tonight, which is really credit to people who pulled this off, this tonight is a part of that resistance, it's a part of that struggle.
Brent has a long and proud tradition of diversity and integration, and the actions of a tiny minority will not dent our mutual respect for one another in our community. We will all show solidarity with our Jewish residents, defiant against the attempts by a few to spread fear and hate. We will not be divided and set against one another, and your presence here tonight shows that the community will come together, united against hatred. Thank you for continuing Brent's proud tradition of respect for all. Our community is our strength. Yours in solidarity, Dawn.
In 1937, the British Union of Fascists, Oswald Mosley, marched through Harlesden. They were chased by 10,000 people. The police were unmounted police trying to keep the anti-fascists under control. 6 people were arrested. Guess what? They were anti-fascists. One of them, I looked it up today, was called Ernest Keller. He was 22 and a clerk, and he lived in Dewsbury Road here. Solidarity with Ernest, no to racism.